2 days after I gave birth, my husband walked into the nursery and told me to get off my lazy ass and cook his parents' dinner. Our daughter was 48 hours old. I hadn't slept more than 20 minutes at a stretch since we got home. She'd been crying for 45 minutes, refusing to latch, and I was barely holding it together. He didn't ask if I was okay. He just said his parents were coming at 6 and I needed to make his mother's pot roast. The one that takes 4 hours. Garlic mashed potatoes, green beans, homemade rolls. I thought he was joking. He wasn't smiling. I can barely walk to the bathroom, I said. Every time I stand up, I feel like I'm tearing apart. He looked annoyed, like I was being dramatic. Then he said it. You've been sitting around for 2 days doing nothing. I need you to get off your lazy ass and act like a wife. My hands were shaking so hard I almost dropped the baby. Are you serious right now? He said his parents drove 2 hours to meet their granddaughter, and the least I could do was feed them a decent meal. I told him my doctor said my body needed 6 weeks to heal. He rolled his eyes, said every woman goes through this, said his mother had 5 kids and never once complained. Then he walked out. I sat there holding our screaming daughter, trying not to fall apart. An hour later I heard voices downstairs. His parents had arrived 3 hours early, grocery bags in hand. I heard his mother ask where I was. I heard him say I was upstairs resting, like I'd been doing all day. I was changing the baby when his mother knocked softly and stepped inside. One look at me, and her whole face changed. What's wrong? I broke. I told her everything. The lazy comment, the dinner he demanded while I could barely stand, how distant he'd been since we got home, how he hadn't held his own daughter once without me asking him to. His mother went completely white. She didn't say a word. She just turned around and went back downstairs. Then I heard her voice, loud. In 3 years, I had never once heard her raise it. What is wrong with you? Why would you tell her I wanted pot roast? I never said that. Why would you lie about something like that? He tried to defend himself. She cut him off. She'd brought Chinese takeout on purpose, so I wouldn't have to cook. She remembered exactly how hard those first few days were, how she could barely sit up after her own first baby. His father came upstairs, asked if he could hold his granddaughter. His hands were gentle. There were tears in his eyes. I'm sorry, he said. I raised a son who would treat his wife like this 2 days after she gave birth. Downstairs, his mother kept going. That's when the truth came out. He'd made up the entire dinner request because he was angry that I hadn't been paying attention to him. He actually admitted it. He thought having a baby would be different, that I'd still have time for him, that I'd still want to be close to him again, soon. His father handed me the baby and went back downstairs. I heard him tell my husband to pack a bag, that he'd raised him better than this, that until he figured out how to be a man, he needed to go. His husband tried to argue, said I was exaggerating. His father said if he said one more word, his bags would end up on the lawn. His mother came back up with the Chinese food and sat with me while I ate. She set up the bassinet, changed the baby, and let me finally take a real shower. She even washed my hair, because I couldn't lift my arms above my head. His father carried the duffel bag to the car. I watched from the window as my husband got in and drove away. That was a week ago. He calls every day now, from his friend's couch. Voicemails about how I overreacted, how his parents turned on him, how I'm keeping his daughter from him. His mother texts me every morning, asking how we slept. She came by yesterday with groceries and meal prep containers, and held the baby while I finally got 4 hours of sleep. His father called last night, said his son needs to earn his way back, said any man who calls his postpartum wife lazy doesn't deserve to be called a father. I'm not answering my husband's calls anymore. His mother told me I can stay here as long as I need to.